A warm welcome back to the Forensics Detailing channel. This is the last video in our Wax Hall of Fame series, and I'm really looking forward to this one because I've never owned this one. I've had a go with it before, but this is quite a cool one, and it's a high-end, expensive one. What is it? Let's find out. This is Zymol Concours. Okay, so, I think for me, Zymol are up there with one of the high-end kind of luxury wax makers, a bit like your Swiss Waxes, and of course there's some history between those two wax makers back in the early days, and now they're kind of two separate kind of companies, if you like. I don't know all the details of that, but again, this is a certificated wax from a friend, Arthur Friend, a friend. See what I did there? That was good improvisation. And Joseph Fosinici. And I love that. The little sign thing. So I know I've got the real kind of wax here. It's all sealed. This product cost me around £200, which isn't cheap. Now let's just find out the best way to break this seal. Is it just gonna? No, it's not gonna crack. So how is that seal on there? Does that need to be unpeeled from here? This glue's pretty dried on. There's got to be. This is part of the intrigue. I know you guys are gonna be. God, this glue's on and pretty tight. Oh, okay. So that looks like if I take that off, that looks like I've now got access to this piece of tape, which looks like tape. Sorry. And this should then come off, shouldn't it? There we go. Yeah. So, yeah, you'd want to peel that off. Which is a nice touch, isn't it? It's going to make sure your product's well and truly sealed. It's a bit of a gluey experience getting all that off. I'm a bit funny with glue. When I buy something and it's got like glue on, I've then got to go and spend the time to get that glue off, because every time I use it, I don't like sticky glue being on things. So let me just have a feel. There's not much of a screw on that lid, but there's a crack in that lid as well, isn't there? That's a crack. That's a bit disappointing. Is that split so that the air's going to get out of it? Or is that just a deep scratch? I think we'll just go with that. Well, it is a crack, but never mind. Okay. So let's open her up then, guys, and have a look. So first of all, it's got a nice smell to it. It's another one of these ones that's an organic smell. That's cinnamon. A bit of shrinkage of the wax, which has caused some cracking around there. You tend to get that cracking when you have a bit more Montan in the blend. Let's talk about what's in here. So this 226 grams of this Zymol Concours glaze, as they call it. 90% white carnauba, 10% yellow carnauba, and 47% by volume wax. So I still can't figure out what that actually means, because I don't think you can defer anything from that, because first of all, 47%, if half of this wax, 47% roughly, was wax, it would be too hard in my experience. So you'd have to keep your wax level, overall wax level by volumes, around 35%. 40% might be pushing it. Maybe it is 47. That's a lot. And then 90% white carnauba, 10% yellow carnauba. But I believe there's perhaps other waxes in here. Other wax makers say 70% by volume, even 80% by volume, which is impossible. So I've come to the conclusion that you can't really tell anything from what that by volume means, because it's a non-defined kind of term. It certainly doesn't add up as an overall percentage, as we talked about. Like, you'd think 80% of the jar would be wax, but that just wouldn't be doable in other products that have claimed that. It claims to enhance colour depth, fresh cinnamon oil in it. It's a handmade blend, and it should give you 20 applications in this pot. Interestingly enough, as well as the waxes that are in it, it's mixed with Montan oil, coconut oil, banana oil, and propolis, which is exactly the same as Pete's 53 wax. Some inspiration going on there between these two products, but this also has cinnamon oil, and you can smell the fresh cinnamon oil that's in it, which is lovely. Also has like some coconut derivatives, coconut oil, cetyl coca diamide, or whatever it's called, and some other synthetic kind of wax, cetyl ethers, to soften it up. Now let's just put our finger in here. Oh, it feels beautiful. Something about this as a wax. It's not as oily as some of the other ones. I've washed my hands because we're going to apply this one by hand. So let's, literally by hand. So let's go round. We've got an applicator here so we can actually just do a bit of both. And we've got our Zano borderless blondes that we're going to use to buff this wax. So let's load up some of the wax. Well, we'll go with the applicator first, and we'll just get some on the applicator. Yeah, and this is not as oily as you might think. There's some waxes in this Hall of Fame that are just been loaded with oil, and you go in, can you see what I'm doing? Which is important. And they're really oily. This does not feel like the Pete's 53 was saturated with oil when it was lovely. This is a much more waxy wax, which is really interesting actually. So it may benefit from being in your hands to heat it up a little bit. We shall see. But this is a much drier wax for a show wax. But it's still lovely. It's drier than the Swiss wax as well. Yeah, and it's drier. I've used the Zymol Glaceur, which was a lovely balm-like, similar kind of wax. Even that was oilier than this. So, yeah, very interesting. It's not a problem that it's more waxy. It really isn't a problem. I love the feel of this wax. It's a hard one as well. Good. Lovely smell to it. Like I say, not a fragrance smell. So you could sit here and do your circles and that just works it in. Sometimes that's really good with stiffer waxes. You just circle them in and get them where you want to go. But it does spread quite easily. So we've just put that over the thing. Now, how long? It's interesting because there's, oh, here we go. I'm just going to read the instructions. Wash and dry the car. Melt a small amount of the glaze in the palms of your hand. Apply firmly but gently. Do not allow to dry. Buff without pressure. To a brilliant gloss using Zymol microfibers. So those instructions are great. And we are now going to follow those instructions to the letter. You could obviously replace, you could obviously not apply it by hand. Interesting though, can you see it's such a hard wax? It's quite difficult to get this wax out of the jar. You know, if you're going to hand apply a wax, it would normally, if it's a bit softer and you can get your fingers into it, you can start scooping up a bit more of the product and get it into your fingertips, and then away you go. So yeah, that would be a little bit of a problem. Yeah, there we go. When it's on the deck, yeah. So when it's on the deck, you can get more of the wax up, and just get that into your hand. It's really weird because this feels like it's not solvent heavy. So I'm not the biggest fan of doing what I'm doing, because especially when I'm filming, because let's do this with one hand. I always just think if you have you know, an applicator, it's better. You just get a thinner layer down. You're not getting it all over your hands. Yeah, it's just, I mean, it's interesting. Some of you might really like waxing by hand, but for me, it's just not the best way to do it. The applicator's better. And as soon as you kind of come onto a new section of the panel, it doesn't feel good. Like an applicator is just a better thing for me. That's just a personal preference. Yeah, I don't like spreading waxes around my hand at all. So let's just go over back to this applicator. Yeah, you just look at that. You just get a much better spread, a much more even film. Your hands don't get waxy, and you can just put. It's quicker as well. The speed is everything. Let's wax. Yeah, you can, if you want to wax in your straight lines and all that sort of stuff, be my guest. Just a little circle can sometimes help spread it. But there, we've got a good amount of wax over that panel now. And we'll go back to the first panel and we'll take our lovely Zano borderless blondes. My tripod's getting all... I need to wipe my hands. Let's just use this cloth to get this wax off the palm of my hand. And then we'll flip to a clean side. So this wax hasn't hazed up too much. A little bit though. It's stiffened a little bit, but it says not to let it dry. So we'll now buff it. That's going to be lovely. Yeah, it's a lovely experience. The smell that's coming off this is amazing. This is a really, compared to some of them, it's a nice clean wax to work with. It isn't like the Pete's 53 is incredible and it's oily and it does sort of set a little bit and harden off, but the Pete's is so soft. The carnauba in the pot is so much softer. This, there's probably less solvent in this one. But the balance between the wax and the oils are different in this blend. Not better or worse, just different. And that comes off the panel. Really nice. Just want to make sure you got it all. Yeah. Yeah, the paintwork on this car is terrible. So here, look how much we've ended up putting on there. But it will still buff off. Look at that. Still comes off if you over apply, especially with these cloths. You've got the right cloths. These cloths are great for doing wax with because they're just so absorbent. If you had like a thin, cheap microfiber towel, just your stock microfiber towel, it wouldn't be as soft and it wouldn't pick up the wax as much. So I'm having a bit of a renaissance with these soft bluffing cloths. I'll see your full house and raise you 10. Bluffing cloths. That's what I did there. And I'm having a little renaissance with them and I'm really enjoying using these soft cloths again. I just get real confidence in them that you can really buff away and they keep going. You don't have to sort of like replace them as often, and swap them out as often because there's just so much more material in them. And all like the fibres are all upright. Yeah, I'm going to enjoy using this wax. I'm going to enjoy it. Now, like some of you in the comments, whenever we talk about the high-end waxes, are just like, there's one or two. There's not that much negativity. Negativity's fine, by the way. People just say, well, that's a rip-off. It may well be, yeah. It may well be. Like, it may well be. What can I say? You can go and buy a pot of... the 222R for 30 or 40 quid, and it will essentially do a similar thing. So this is like 5, 6, 7 times the price or whatever. No, 3 or 4 times the price, 4 or 5 times the price. Yeah, and it's a pot of wax at the end of the day. But I just think, for me, Zymol. This is the first time I've used a big pot. The last pot I tried, one of my patrons had, Jamie had it and he brought it round and I tried it. A little sample pot where you can't really get your applicator in there and you can't really go nuts with it. But I thought it was a really nice blended wax that was a bit more waxy than the Zymol Glazure. Yeah, it's interesting, isn't it? Personal preference comes into it. But I think with my Hall of Fame, it's nice that there's different waxes in there, in this Hall of Fame. And this is probably the driest of the show waxes, which is interesting because they're normally oily, but goes onto the paint lovely. The paint feels nice. There'll be a lovely shine to this car now with that wax on it. And that's kind of what I'm looking for throughout the summer. Just going to hurl these waxes on. I'm just going to use them. I'm going to just go mad with these waxes because I love the idea of just spending time in there with my car. It's going to take some time to get through all these because when I do a Hall of Fame series on one, I think, I'm going to look forward to really putting that out in the summer. And now I'm doing this Zymol one. I'm thinking, oh yeah, I'll use this Zymol when I put it out. I've only got 2 cars that I'll really put them on. So it's really going to be a struggle to use all of these waxes. But yeah, the next step I've got to go through is go and try and rank them all and get our performance test done. So I'm going to get that test panel out today. And we'll do the performance testing. Does this product really improve depth? You know, does it darken off the paint? And usually when they do that, it's by filling, improving clarity as well, it claims. Does it really do that? The wax that's left behind, how durable is it? How hydrophobic is it? Is it a good protective product for that money? Typically, our show waxes aren't. Is this plastic lid cracked? let it go. There we go. So that is the Zymol Concours. Lovely. Gonna have fun getting to know this one a little bit more. Like I say, some of these are just in here because they're ones that I've wanted to really kind of own or try, or consistently heard good things about. And yeah, Zymol would be up there if you know your waxes as being one of the best wax makers. When we do my final rundown, I will do some other honourable mentions because there's loads of good wax makers out there and good waxes and good products. And this is just my list, and everyone's list will be slightly different. I'm looking for waxes that have perhaps been around for a while, you know, that were around about 10 years ago, that when I researched it were special, and you know, they were known quantities and sort of iconic. So I'm less inclined, if it's only like a wax that's a couple of years old or something, to ever put that in the Hall of Fame. It's got to have established its place in the Hall of Fame for me as well. And I think all of the products that we've talked about, certainly I think have done that, haven't they? I don't know, you tell me. Someone will disagree, which is fine. Okay. Thank you for watching, guys. So stay tuned to see the performance testing, which I might start tomorrow. So this one's been Zymol Concours. I'm going to turn the camera off and spend a bit more time whacking this all over my paintwork. Oh yeah, it's going to be cool. Smells lovely. Doug.